Hello my friends, I'm Hondo, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Aurora. This is episode 17. In episode 16 we built some ships for mining externally, specifically the mighty gas pump for getting sorium into fuel, and the floating digger, which is simply a pure miner. In between sessions I did a couple minor things I'd like to show you real quick. First and foremost, we had the Echo, which was a basic... I guess it was originally used just as a short little passenger ferry, but has basically no fuel, so I've gone ahead and given the order to scrap it because it's of absolutely no use to us now. So I got rid of that. Let's see what else. Oh, on both of Le Mans and on Layton here, I originally had terraformers in the list of things that they should be eventually building. But the more I think about it, the more I think I'd rather just build some terraforming ships. That way they just will float over, complete the job, and then go to the next one. And then I'm not stuck with these terraformers that are just using up workers. Especially on a planet like Len here, which is just really does not have enough people to support it. They don't actually have one yet anyway, but if I did build one, it would just drain away far too much of their population. So I think we're going to start today's episode by designing a terraforming ship. That's always a good place to start. And we're going to call this the Terraformer, because I am not original in the slightest. Is there any kind of... Oh look, Terraformer. How convenient. Terraformer is a terraformer. Go figure. Anyway, so let's say right off the bat we will want definitely a larger fuel tank. The most important thing, of course, being that we'll want terraformers. They are enormous, but that's okay. I don't expect this ship to be very fast, so that's why I want to give it a lot of fuel. That way it can, even if it takes a long time to get to a location, once it's there, it's just going to sit there, and it's going to sit there for a long, long, long time. So, other than that, doesn't really need to have anything else on board. I mean, I'll have to put an engine on it yet, but in terms of, actual equipment, this thing should not need anything else at all, so the only thing else I'm going to put on here is going to be an engine for it. We will need a commercial engine. Okay, so that's a little bit too slow for my liking. Let's just bump a few more in here. I actually may need an even bigger fuel tank now that I think about it. I'll just put on a second fuel tank. That should do. That's still a little bit slower than I would like. Although I guess it doesn't really matter, because like I say, it's basically, it just goes to wherever and then just sits there. But that range still strikes me as a bit low. Let's add another fuel tank or two. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. But I am one for speed, so there you go. Anyway, it's a commercial vessel, so this doesn't really matter, but again, I'll make it just a huge number, who cares. Okay, so this will be our terraformer, so it will get to sites relatively slowly, but it can get there no problem. In between each one, I'll probably have to send it back to Earth to refuel in between each trip, but that's not a big deal. The ship will have 10 terraformers on it, so it's going to be doing basically twice the speed that the moon currently is, because the moon has 5 terraformers on it. In fact, I'm going to send this to the moon first, just to have it, speed that one up, because that one's well on its way to being done. So we will definitely want some kind of captain on board. And the names, what shall we call this one? Sea creatures. There you go. That'll do. Excellent. So that is done. Now let's pop in to Earth and get to retooling for our TR Terraformer. Excellent. The scrapping of the Echo, of course, takes no time at all because it's such a tiny ship, and that actually reminds me I can get rid of the Echo design just to call something. This list is already far larger than I would like, but anyway, we could at least get one of it out of there. Okay, Okay, so you have completed retooling? Yes. So we now are constructing our first terraformer. Ultimately, I may have more than one, but for now I'm just going to have a single one, and that'll be okay. The Barracuda. Looks like it'll take pretty much exactly 10 months to build. No? Okay. 10 and some change. Fair enough. Not a problem at all. Oh, now I remember the other thing I did is I went to all of the places that have auto mines and commanded them to send them back to Earth. So, because I'm just going to use the mineral harvesting ship at this point. Research is still going well. There we go. Like I said, I do really like the idea of auto mines in a mass driver, but most of these places have so few minerals, it's not really worth it. It takes longer to get all the mines and the mass driver going than it does to actually use them. So I'd rather just have a ship float over, drain it, and then forget about it. It also means I'll have a lot less stuff here in this list, and I won't have to have all these empty colonies that still appear as colonies on the list. So that'll help clean this up as well. So it has some indirect value as well, which is nice. Alright, research is done. Excellent. Let us work on... I could do more mining. Oh, faster research. That's always a good thing. Let's do that first. I definitely like the idea of researching better. There we go. Our terraformer shall now be done. Excellent. Okay. And we're in the shipyard group briefly, but we'll fix that. Fantastic. Right, so your first job will be to go to the moon, which will not obviously take very long at all, but that's okay. And what I'll actually do is I'm going to put on the moon so we can see the terraforming. So when I advance the clock here, just a day or something, we'll see this will jump up as soon as that ship gets into orbit. It should take no time at all. There we go. You see how we have effective terraformers. So clearly my ships are not doing so well, but that's probably just because they're rookies. But you can see immediately though that we are improving things here. I do have it set to realistic commanders, so it does mean that initially ships are not at full power because their crew is not up to speed and what have you. So, although we did choose a very good commander for it, so that's helpful. I just want to see if I can find where it shows me exactly how the crew behaves, and I don't remember what screen that's on, or even if it does show that anywhere here. Maybe it doesn't even show it on here. But anyway, that's why it's only showing that it has effectively, that even though there's 10 terraformers on here, plus this commander's bonus, it's only acting like 8. But anyway, that's okay. Not a problem. The important part is that the moon is now going to have its terraforming complete much faster. And that in turn means that the infrastructure level per million will start to drop. So we'll just bash the clock ahead a bit here. Oh, you can see it just dropped there. We are now getting to a point where the atmosphere is getting close enough that it's still not good enough. They still need infrastructure, but they don't need as much because the atmosphere is closer to what they need. So now that we're past that breaking point, that is a good thing. The max population will start to skyrocket as this number continues to drop, and that will be awesome. Has this team... Nope, this team still isn't done. I sent the geological team over to Le Mans, hoping to find some better accessibility. They're still doing their thing, so that's fine. How is my research doing? Still going strong. Okay. Yeah, we're nearly 70% atmosphere now. That's pretty good. Yeah, this is basically ticking down about one every month or so. It's not exact, but it's about that. So you can see the max population is going up even though the current infrastructure is not changing, which is just awesome. This is the point I want to get to, where it's starting to actually become noticeably better. Oh, excuse me. So that means we don't have to keep shipping more and more infrastructure. And in fact, once this is done, all this infrastructure is up for grabs and can be sent to other places as needed. And that will be awesome. Okay, let's check on research again here. Yes, they are done. Excellent. What shall we work on now? There's quite a few things here I'd like to get. Let's start with something that will help our energy weapons. Or at least that will need less power plants per energy weapon, I guess is the other way to look at it. And I've been doing some reading in the forums about the energy weapons. I was originally planning on going pure laser, but I've been reading a lot about how that's not really that effective, especially as anti-missile defense. So I think I am going to start getting into the meson cannons again, because it's something we're not going to really want to have, is to get shredded by missiles. That would generally go poorly for us. Turns out being blasted by thousands of missiles is a bad thing. Who knew? Anyway, well, let's keep grinding away our terraforming here. Interesting, that appears to be going down. Not sure why that is. So that was at 13 originally. Oh, I'm sorry, I kept saying they were doing less than. That's just the ones in orbit. It was 13. I thought it counted these ones, but that doesn't count those. So it wasn't that the crew was doing less than their job, although they are currently doing less than their job, unless I lost that commander. Sorry, I just want to check that real quick. Did I end up with a lesser commander? No, it does not look like it. Yes, that part's still fine. Oh, yes, I do. I have a different commander. That's why. Okay. One that's not quite as good. There, on naval vessels, the tour is 2 years maximum, so unlike on the civilian planets where I assign governors forever. They have to work there the rest of their lives. Anyway, that's why that dropped a little bit, but we're still doing just fine here. The atmosphere is getting closer and closer to good. And then after that, I'll have to work on the temperature by adding greenhouse gases until we get the base temperature to about 260. So it won't take that much. But that's the other reason that this is not going to go to perfect until I get that done as well. So I'd like to get the nitrogen up to about where it belongs. It's still a little bit low. Actually, I think I should add one just... I want to get an idea of just how much they add in one shot here. Okay, that didn't change the temperature at all, so they're not adding very much. So I need to get this number here to about 14. It doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be in that range. Because right now it's not just a case that the atmosphere is no good for that, but it's also a case that it's too cold, so that's these greenhouse gases will help bring that temperature up a little bit. I just don't want to add too much and have it start becoming a runaway greenhouse effect. Otherwise the thing will go very, very hot very quickly, and that's no good either. Okay, again there. In the meantime, let's go check on our other ships that are doing work for us. Our gas pump. Ah, it's full. Perfect. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, you're not going to do that just yet. First, you're going to go to Le Mans, which will only take about 2 minutes apparently. Oh, it has actually flown there because I guess there must be sodium here. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I want it at the moon to drop off that fuel. So we're just going to tick ahead 2 minutes here. And now it should be at here. So we should be allowed to now manually transfer. No, I must still not be quite there. Alright. Let's just add 30 seconds. Okay, now it's there. Okay. Okay, excellent. I'm going to drop off some here at Le Mans just so we have gas here as well. I don't need all of it here, but I do want to have at least some available on all of my colonies. That way, anytime I have a ship nearby that needs to refuel, it could go to any of my main colonies. So that's why I'm going to drop this off here, even though it's not the ideal spot. Is not enough zeros. There we go. Okay. So now it can go ahead and go back to that Sorium site, and I'm okay with that. Let's bump ahead an hour here to make sure it makes it, and it should now be refueling as well. Doesn't look like it's refueling. Did I have to tell you to manually? No, didn't. Or do I just need to give it more time? I think I just need to give it more time. Let's just bump ahead a month. If it's going to do it, it'll definitely be done in that time, or at least started anyway. Okay, yes, it's done 100,000, so I just had to give it more time. Okay, so it's working again. Let's check on our mineral, our digger, which I think is that the Balrog? Oh, I can get rid of this task group. That's the old Echo, because it's gone. Oh, there it is. It's the Atlanta. Okay. Doesn't look like you're doing anything, so you must be done digging out wherever you are. Okay. And Bees Brook. No, there's still stuff there. So why did you stop digging? Ah, silly thing. I think I was just doing a load all. Actually, I guess I could just do that and then just tell it to cycle it. And that should go until it's completely full. That's what's the easiest way to check. Pick one 7613. Let's make sure that changes. Hasn't changed yet. Sorry, I guess it was 78. So I can't really read this font very well, but now it's changing, so now I know it is, in fact, digging. So, okay, so that crisis is solved, and that actually looks like a good place to put a cut in for this episode, because we're at time control anyway. So, until next time, folks, stay calm, and I hope you'll come and chill with me again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.